Joker 2. Oh man, where do I start? I was excited to see what they could do after the success of the first film. The original Joker was a game changer. It had a lot to say, and Joaquin Phoenix gave one of the best performances of his career. But Joker 2? This one left me seriously disappointed. Today, I'm breaking down why this sequel completely missed the mark and why it's been so divisive since its release in October 2024. Let's get into it. Let's start with the most obvious problem. Joker 2 feels like a rehash of the first movie. The original Joker was powerful because it was fresh. We saw Arthur Fleck's disturbing transformation into the Joker, a journey that felt gritty, real, and layered. But in Joker 2, they just hit repeat. Arthur is still going through the same struggles, dealing with mental illness, and society is still pushing him further into madness. The problem? We've already seen this. There's no new twist, no deeper exploration. It's as if the filmmakers thought they could copy-paste the formula and get the same emotional impact. But it just doesn't work. The shock value and raw emotion from the first movie are gone because we've been here before. Instead of advancing Arthur's story, Joker 2 stagnates. Joker 1 was a complete standalone film. It told a full story, and Arthur Fleck's descent into madness was perfectly wrapped up. When they announced Joker 2, officially titled Joker Folie à Deux, it was clear that Warner Bros. Was banking on the huge financial success of the first movie. But the story didn't need a sequel, and that's painfully obvious when you watch the film. The term folie à deux means a shared madness between two people, hinting at a deep psychological exploration, possibly with Harley Quinn, portrayed by Lady Gaga. But even with Gaga's fantastic acting, her character feels like a shallow addition to an already stretched-out story. The dynamic between Joker and Harley is rushed and doesn't have the depth it needed. Instead of feeling organic, it feels like an excuse to make a sequel. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about Marvel's chaos, I want to ask for your help. I am trying to reach 5,000 subs by the end of the year, so I do really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Let's continue. Now, one of the most talked about aspects of Joker, Folie à Deux, is the decision to make it part musical. I have to say, when I first heard that this was the direction they were going, I was intrigued but also cautious. Could it work? Well, after seeing it, the answer is not really. I get that they wanted to shake things up and show how Joker's mind operates in unpredictable ways. But throwing in elaborate musical numbers takes away from the gritty, grounded tone that made the first movie so effective. These musical scenes are strange, out of place, and disrupt the flow of the film. Instead of adding to Arthur's madness, it feels like a random genre mashup that never really fits. It's like the movie can't decide what it wants to be: dark drama, psychological thriller, or experimental musical. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is great in these moments. Her voice is amazing. But the musical shift just doesn't belong in the Joker universe. It turns what should be a tense and serious sequel into something bizarre, losing the emotional intensity in the process. In Joker 1, we watched Arthur Fleck's gradual transformation into the Joker, a man beaten down by society, who eventually becomes a symbol of chaos. That transformation was one of the reasons the first film was so gripping. But in Joker 2, Arthur's character doesn't go anywhere new. There's no significant development. He's already the Joker, and instead of evolving or facing new challenges, he's stuck in the same cycle of madness. The sequel doesn't explore any deeper aspects of his psyche or motivations. It's frustrating to watch because, while the first film gave us a slow, fascinating build-up, Joker 2 just feels like a flat continuation. Arthur's story is no longer compelling. He's not struggling with new ideas or emotions, and the film doesn't give him any real purpose. Pacing was a problem for Joker 2. While the first film was a slow burn that gradually ramped up the tension, Joker 2 is just slow. The middle of the film in particular feels like it's stretching time. You're waiting for something, anything to happen. And instead, the movie drags on with long, drawn-out scenes that don't add much to the story. At nearly 2.5 hours, Joker 2 feels bloated. There's a lot of repetition, and scenes that could have been tight and intense are stretched out, losing any impact they might have had. It doesn't build tension the way the first movie did. Instead, it feels like a chore to sit through at times. which is a huge problem for a sequel that's supposed to be even more intense and thrilling. One of the reasons the first Joker worked was because it had something to say about society, mental health, and the isolation of the individual. It was dark, yes, but there was meaning behind the madness. Joker 2 tries to be just as profound, but it falls flat. It feels like the film is trying way too hard to be deep without actually offering anything new or interesting. The social commentary that made the first film feel grounded and thought-provoking is barely present here. Instead, the movie leans too heavily on its shocking elements, like the musical numbers, to provoke a reaction, but without any real substance behind it. The result? It feels empty. Like they're going for shock value over depth, and it just doesn't work. The movie wants to make you think, but by the end, you're left wondering what the point really was. So, why is Joker 2 terrible? It's a messy, unnecessary sequel that fails to capture the magic of the first film. The recycled plot, awkward musical numbers, lack of character growth, and slow pacing all make for a frustrating watch. While Joker 1 was a bold, original take on the character, Joker 2 feels like it's just riding on the success of the first without adding anything new. Even though Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga deliver solid performances, they're not enough to save a film that doesn't know what it wants to be. Joker 2 is proof that not every successful movie needs a sequel. Sometimes, it's better to leave things as they are. Thanks for watching. Have you seen Joker 2 yet? Did it work for you? Or were you as disappointed as I was? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reviews and rants like this one. See you next time.